All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to In the Paint for reaction to Timberwolves and Nuggets. The game just went final, and the Nuggets fall at home again. 117-108 is the final at Ball Arena in an extremely frustrating game if you are a Denver Nuggets fan. This has probably been the most frustrating stretch of basketball over the last 5 or 6 years that I can remember, really since the Nuggets became legitimate title contenders year in and year out. Boy, this team is really struggling right now. And there are so many issues going on with this team that continue to pop up. We talked about it in the Oklahoma City Thunder game down the stretch. The same issues continue to pop up for this team. Clutch time turnovers, missing open shots. The second unit for the second straight game was awful. They had nothing going with the second unit. They tried staggering Jamal Murray with the second unit. That didn't work. Cam Johnson was out there a little bit with the second unit. That didn't work. Boy, Cam Johnson. What is going on with Cam Johnson? This dude looked like he wanted to be on another planet in this game today. 23 minutes for Cam. 0 points on 0 of 6 shooting, 0 of 4 from 3. Didn't get to the line, had 4 rebounds and 3 assists. Was a minus 13. The Nuggets have a serious problem going on right now with Cam Johnson. We've seen him have stretches this year where he's played really well. But for the most part, today, Cam Johnson has been a pretty big disappointment so far this season. And I don't want to be too hard on Cam because he has been, in and out of the lineup. I know he's been back for a while, but boy, he's just flat out not been good enough. And, they were talking on the ABC broadcast. There's going to be a lot of Nuggets fans questioning the trade of Cam Johnson for MPJ. And I've talked about this a million times. That trade also allowed them to sign Tim Hardaway and Valanciunas as well. But this version of Cam Johnson, I mean, in my opinion, he's in danger of getting benched, at least relegated to the second unit. This is 2 straight games where the Nuggets have had a starter score 0 points. The Thunder game, it was Julian Strawther, who, by the way, had 2 points in this game. So you had 2 starters in today's game. 2 starters combined for 2 points. That is lunacy. Nikola Jokic, I thought, was outstanding today, except he did turn the ball over late in this game when it looked like Jamal Murray was about to go on a little bit of a run there. And Jamal had a couple of bad turnovers as well. So the same issues continue to pile up for this team. Now, I think it will get better. I mean, I would think it would get better because this is the worst stretch of basketball I've seen this team play, like I said, in the last 5 or 6 years. So will it get better? Well, Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson, they said on the broadcast on ABC, Alaman's hoping for 7 to 10 days for both of them to be back. Okay, I mean, that's great. They need them. But how effective are they going to be when they, at least, especially initially? It's going to take them a while to get ramped back up. The Nuggets are in a free fall in the Western Conference right now. Absolute free fall. And the second unit, over the course of the season, in its totality, has actually been pretty good. But over the last couple of weeks, I'm getting flashbacks of the 2024-2025 seasons when the second unit was non-existent. I mean, that's how bad they've been over the last month or so. And this team is built the way they're built, at least for this season, was to not have the issues that they're having when Nikola Jokic goes off the floor. And they've done a pretty good job of playing well enough in those minutes, the non-Jokic minutes, throughout the course of the regular season. But over the last month, it has been kind of a revert back to the last couple of seasons with the gap when Nikola Jokic is on the floor versus when he's off. And that's what it feels like right now. But it also doesn't help, like I said, when two of your starters combined for 2 points. Cam Johnson had 0, Julian Strawther had 2. I mean, this is ugly basketball. I got to say, just being completely honest, this is the least fun I've had watching Nuggets basketball in years. I mean, this team is hard to watch right now. Now, I'm not going to be like super doom and gloom because I do think they are in a really rough stretch that they can get out of, especially with Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson hopefully returning sooner rather than later. But Adelman's going to have to shake something up. He's going to have to shake something up, whether that's Tim Hardaway being inserted into the starting lineup for either Julian Strawther or Cam Johnson. Maybe Zeke Naji gets a little bit more run, as crazy as that sounds. Maybe you slot Bruce Brown into the starting lineup. I don't know. But something has to change because what they're doing right now is just not working. It's simply not working. And this team has been playing some of the worst basketball I've seen from this team in the Jokic era in years. And it is hard to watch. And it's frustrating. I've seen a lot of fans on Twitter, online, having sort of the same frustrations that I'm having with this team, and which are totally warranted, by the way. This team, I think, has a chance to bounce back by, I don't know, the middle to end of March. Playing much better basketball. By the way, I still hold true that if this team is fully healthy as can be, heading into the playoffs, they have as good a shot as anybody at winning this championship this season. I still really do believe that. Now, that's assuming Peyton Watson and Aaron Gordon are back and healthy and not on a minutes restriction later in the season. All that stuff has to factor into it. But right now, I mean, this is ugly. In today's game, this felt like a game where literally Nikola Jokic had to do everything, especially on the offensive end of the floor. Jamal did have some good moments late in this game, but Jamal was inconsistent too. Jamal hasn't been the all-star caliber player over the last couple of weeks. Now, he hasn't been like terrible or anything like that, but he hasn't been good enough. So in the first quarter, I mean, I thought it was like one of their better quarters of the season. I thought they played really well in that first. In fact, they led 31-22 after the first. And then the second unit comes in to start the second quarter, and the Wolves go on a 9-0 run to start the second quarter. Timeout Denver. And then Jokic comes back in. The Nuggets score, I don't know, like 5-6 points. Okay. And then they allow a 12-0 run to Minnesota. And with 5:20 to go in the second quarter, the Timberwolves were outscoring the Nuggets 23-7. So it went from one of the best quarters that I've seen this year to one of the worst. I mean, to have that big of a shift is really telling. This team is lacking confidence right now. There was a 3-point attempt in the first half by Christian Brown. And Doris Burke actually mentioned this on the broadcast, and I couldn't have agreed with her more. Christian looked, she put it this way, and it was a great way to describe it. She said Christian had no confidence shooting that three. And it almost looked like He knew it wasn't going in the whole time, like as he was loading up to shoot it, and it barely drew iron. The only one that looks confident right now, I would say Jamal still looks fairly confident, are he and Nikola Jokic. Cam Johnson looked like he didn't want to be in the building after halftime. And honestly, I don't blame him. I mean, 0 points tonight. That second quarter, Murray was 3 for 10. Cam had 0 points. Jonas Valanciunas had 0 points. They were minus 11 in 5 minutes without Nikola Jokic. And then the third quarter comes, and Nikola Jokic absolutely dominated that quarter. Now, it was tied 32-32 in the third. But you're having Nikola Jokic dominate a quarter like that, and they can't even win the quarter. That's how bad everybody else is playing right now. And I'm telling you, there's something going on. Well, we know this. There's something going on with Joker's wrists. And I think that's affecting his touch around the basket. There was that little floater in the second half that came up way short. It was like three or 4 feet away from the basket. Joker makes those shots in his sleep. He didn't even get it close. Now, he did have some other good touch shots around the rim, but he's missing a lot of bunnies around the rim. And I am starting to think, I really do think his wrist injuries are affecting him more than he's leading on. He's still playing great, but there are little things that are a little out of character for Nikola that's going on. And then he and Jamal did turn the ball over a ton late in this game. So really frustrating game. We're going to try and hear from David Adelman. I would like to get to all of your comments. Sound off, Nuggets fans. How you feeling right now? Yeah, it's just ugly. There's no doubt about it. Ooh, here we go. Players only meeting. Do players only meetings actually work? I've always wondered that. I would love to ask players that. I guess it depends on what the locker room dynamics are and all that, but there's a lot of times where teams will have player only meetings and they don't do jack squat. So I don't know. Here we go. I strongly believe Adelman is starting to lose this team as it continues to decline. Hey, I'm not saying that that's not a possibility. Now, are they to that point yet? I don't know. I just don't know the answer to that. My guess would be no, not yet. But something needs to change. And Adelman deserves some of the blame as well. And they just have not been performing up to their standards. Tim Connolly making all the moves Nuggets fans want, trading for DeSumo, getting Kyle Anderson from the buyout market, signing Mike Connolly. I think it's fair to question the lack of moves that the Nuggets have made as well. Now, I will say this. To be fair to the front office, and I'm not using this as an excuse, but I do think it is a fair point. The Nuggets really are kind of hamstrung when it comes to making major moves because of what they've done over the last 3 or 4 seasons. I mean, they only have like 2 first-round picks over the next 5 or 6 years. And they're right up against the cap, the soft cap. But, one name that we were talking about on our show that could be possibly available on the buyout market still is Chris Middleton. And I've seen reports that the Nuggets would be interested. I think that's a no-brainer. I think that would be a no-brainer. He's won a championship. He's still a pretty good player. I would argue he was the second best player on a championship team. Now, I know that was 5-6 years ago, whatever it was. Actually, 7 years ago, I think. It was 2019. But he's still he's a veteran player. He still could shoot the ball. I really like Chris Middleton. So maybe that's an option. But they've got to do something. And I think just counting on Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson coming back as being the solution is a dangerous road to go down. Now, they absolutely could help. They could help turn this thing around, but especially with Aaron Gordon, his injury history over the last year and a half, I mean, I just have no idea. No idea if he's going to be able to stay healthy or even when he does come back, is he going to be that same explosive player that's been so effective for the Nuggets over the years? So we'll see. Somebody in the comments said Middleton already said he's staying in Dallas. Okay, I'll read into that. The latest I've seen is that this is still kind of up in the air, but okay. Well, yeah, I mean, look, the buyout market at this point is going to be pretty scarce. So I get the frustration with Cam Johnson. There were a lot of Nuggets fans that were not too happy about that trade. He's had a really good year in Brooklyn, even though their team stinks. And I talked about this after the Thunder game. The Nuggets are missing that third option right now, and it really hurts this team with the two-man game between Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray, especially late in games. And that's why they are failing to execute in the final minutes of games to close them out, because they're not able to run their two-man game as effectively as they were over the last couple of years, because they don't have that third option that they can go to if the two-man game is getting double or triple teamed. So a lot of frustration with this team right now. I get it. And they're going to have to figure something out. I would like to see Adelman try to change something up, whether it's the rotations. Maybe we see a little more Jalen Pickett. I mean, Jonas Valanciunas has been kind of a shell of himself over the last couple of weeks. Everybody's struggling right now except for Nikola Jokic, who's dealing with wrist injuries. I mean, Jamal Murray's been really inconsistent over the last couple of weeks. Now, he had 25 points tonight, but 9 of 22, inefficient. And a lot of those came late in the game. And I believe he was 5 for 16 at one point in this game. So Jamal is getting a good amount of points, but he's taken a lot of shots. So it's inefficient basketball from Jamal Murray. Really, really frustrating. Another thing that bugged me about today's game, and I've talked about this before, this is something that's frustrating to me with Adelman. Challenges a call in the first half and loses the challenge. If you're going to challenge in the first half, it better be a no-brainer that the call is going to get overturned. Now, ultimately, would that challenge have affected the outcome of this game? Having that challenge in the second half? No. But the principle there still holds. I don't know why coaches challenge in the first half unless it is just blatantly obvious. Blatantly obvious. I don't understand. And he loses the challenge, doesn't have it for the rest of the game. So frustrating. I don't know why any coaches in the NBA do that. I don't get it. Are we talking about Russell Westbrook? Oh boy. That's where we're at, huh? Ooh, here we go. Bones Highland, much more efficient than Jamal today. Absolutely. Bones was great, especially in the first half. Where did Bones finish in this game? He finished 6 for 7 with 18 points, 3 of 3 from three-point range. Yeah, Bones was fantastic. Had a little dust up there with Jonas Valanciunas. Bones was great. And obviously, I'm sure he was juiced to play against the team that drafted him and traded him. He's been kind of bouncing around the league, but it looks like he's found a spot there in Minnesota. But this, Cam Johnson, boy, oh boy, what do you do with Cam? I mean, he really did look like he wanted to be anywhere but Ball Arena today. That was just an awful performance from Cam Johnson. And I'm almost starting to feel bad for Nikola Jokic. Really. That dude played his ass off today. I mean, he literally, I said to myself watching the game in the third quarter, I'm like, does Nikola Jokic have to do everything for this team? right now. Everything, it felt like. 35 points, 15 of 26 shooting, good efficiency. He is still struggling from the three, just 1 of 4 from three. 13 rebounds, 9 assists, and it was a +4. I mean, it just feels like Nikola Jokic has to do everything right now. And this is just so frustrating to watch. All right, let's get to more of your comments here. How about DiVincenzo? He was real good too. Yeah, I mean, really, like, who had a really bad game for the Timberwolves today? I can't think of anybody. Naz Reid had a good game off the bench. The Timberwolves bench was fantastic. I mean, night and day compared to the Nuggets bench in this game. I mean, Val played 10 minutes. He had 2 points. Tim Hardaway, okay, he was good. 17 points on 5 of 6 shooting, 3 of 4 from 3. THJ was good. That was good to see. He's had a little bit of a rough stretch here, but he's been playing better over the last couple of games, so I'm not really worried about him. But you're not getting much from Val. Bruce Brown was just okay. Bruce's defense is fine, and I've talked about this before. Bruce's defense is fine, but he's way too inconsistent offensively for this team, and he's just not adding enough scoring punch like he did a couple of years ago during the Nuggets title season. All right, let's see here. Denver fans need to be gracious about Joker's decision. He needs to do what is best for him, not for her own selfish reasons. Are you saying like by leaving the team? I don't know what you mean by that. If you could explain, that'd be great. Yep, Jokic hero ball, not good. That's what it felt like. That's what it felt like watching this game. This was Nikola Jokic having to play hero ball, and he kind of did because everybody else was struggling so badly. It really did feel like he was having to do everything in this game. The second quarter was a joke. I mean, they get outscored 36-19. They start the quarter. The Timberwolves start the quarter on a 23-7 run. The bench was -11 in 5 minutes. This is causing Adelman to have to bring back Jokic earlier than he would normally like to also. So you're putting more mileage on the body. Yeah, just really, really frustrating stuff. So is Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson's return going to help this team the way they need to be helped? I don't know. If you're going to tell me Aaron Gordon is back and healthy and close to 100%, I would be more confident, but I just don't think that will be the case. I hope I'm wrong, but I just don't know if that's going to be the case. So, tough game for the Nuggets. They'll be back at it tomorrow night against the Utah Jazz in Utah. You know, the Jazz aren't very good this year. They're 18-42 on the season, but that's always a tough place to play for the Nuggets. So that's going to be, you know, that's not a gimme game, even though the Jazz are totally tanking this year. By the way, Nuggets fall to the 5 seed. So they are now a game behind the Timberwolves and Rockets. The Spurs did lose to the Knicks today, ending their 11-game win streak. So, yeah, look, the Nuggets are going to be fighting to finish for a top 4 seed. Now, look, they're a game back of the 3 seed, so they still have plenty of time and plenty of opportunities to get a top 3 seed. But not playing like the way they did today, not playing like the way they have over the last couple of weeks. Yeah, it's just it's been a really tough stretch. Like I said, I think this is the toughest stretch the Nuggets have had over the last 5 or 6 years that I can remember. And boy, they just are hard to watch right now, especially trying to close out games in clutch time situations. It is just ugly, ugly basketball. Really bad turnovers, missed open shots, porous defense late in games. inconsistency from up and down the roster other than Nikola Jokic. So we shall see. All right. Well, that's going to do it for the post-game show, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow night to react to Nuggets and Jazz. Let's see if they can have a get-right game there in Utah, and we'll be talking about a win coming up tomorrow night, but we will see. But, yeah, signing off after a very frustrating game there at Ball Arena, and we'll talk to you tomorrow night for another edition of In the Paint. See you then.